What's up, everyone? I'm Clayton Roche. I'm here with Sergej. He's the co-founder and CEO of 1inch Exchange. And I invited him on for an interview because I've been personally using 1inch Exchange a lot lately. I've noticed it's very robust. It has like a lot of features, including like some liquidity pools, normal DEX performance, as well as limit orders. So thanks for joining me, Sergej.
Hi everyone. Yeah, thanks also for.
Yeah, cheers. So I'd love to hear just a little bit of background about like what inspired you to get started with 1inch Exchange.
So first of all, I started to work with my co-founder Anton already in 2018. We were doing security audits of smart contracts. Because we have seen like in hype in Russia, we are like Russians. I was born in Russia, but living in Germany since for 20 years, around. So we have seen a hype of Ponzi schemes based on smart contracts, and we decided to inform the people they shouldn't invest in any Ponzi's based on smart contracts, and we started to explain how to read the smart contract and so on, and why they shouldn't invest and so on. Also, we created like mathematical calculations that makes no sense to invest in a Ponzi scheme based on smart contracts. But anyway, we just started to participate on hackathons. Started in December of 2018. The first hackathon in Singapore, ETH Global. Won from the beginning 3 prizes: one from Kyber, MakerDAO, and one from Set Protocol. And we decided to participate like how often we can. And we were like last year almost every month, and sometimes also twice a month on a hackathon. We won a lot of hackathons, and we tried to build on each hackathon an MVP, which should work like in production on mainnet. We developed everything in mainnet. We did some small products like QR token for airdrops, like real airdrops in the real world. You can just print a QR code, spread the tokens. But then we were playing a little bit in the beginning of 2019 with arbitrage trading. We wrote on bot and found out there's arbitrage opportunity there, but there are still good guys who are faster than you. If you try to just buy on one exchange, so another exchange to make profit, it's quite difficult. But we found out that there are some cool software like patterns, also like arbitrage patterns there, which can be also offered for everyone. And we decided to build on ETH New York last year in May, 1inch, because we have seen the opportunity to provide best prices in the DEX market by just splitting and spreading your amounts. That is the source amount of tokens you are going to sell among DEXs, to just grab the best rates on several exchanges to provide best price on the DEX market. Yeah, we just used arbitrage techniques to do that. Yeah, and we built a dynamic algorithm which can calculate very fast. Yeah, the right path. I would say it's like navigation system. You know, from point A to point B, the best path. Yeah, and that's how we do.
I see. Yeah, and I've noticed that some of the trades, like, so I'll make a trade on 1inch and then I'll look at the actual transaction that happened, and they seem sometimes quite complex, like all the steps that are happening behind the scenes in order to get the rates. However, it does seem like the gas fees are not outrageous, and this processing time's not bad. Like overall, seems like it's coming through pretty cleanly.
Yeah, the thing is, in the arbitrage world, you need to be very efficient to earn money. Yeah, and we found out that it makes sense to burn gas token. invented by some guys, some researcher. We met one in Osaka last year. It's also a Russian guy, like born in Russia, grown up in New York. And we saw that we can be really efficient and burn down our overhead of our smart contract. Our smart contract is actually a proxy server, a proxy contract with additional security level to protect our users from losing money. And to avoid this overhead, also this distribution among the access, I mean, it's also additional overhead comparing to just swapping on Uniswap. And we had to somehow to remove this overhead, and we just decided to burn a gas token because we have also used that in the arbitrage bot. And it means if you swap 1inch, for example, through Kyber, only through Kyber, you will pay half of the gas costs comparing to just swapping directly on Kyber. Like Kyber charged around 500,000 gas, and at 1inch is around 250, maybe a little bit more, but almost the half. Yeah,
that's cool. So I'm curious. It just seems like from using 1inch, there's a lot of tools on there. I'm just curious, how big is your team? Are you just over there like really pumping these things out on your own, or like what does your team look like?
So I and Anand, we are very experienced. We have each of professional experience in software engineering and architecture, and also in the security space. And we were hacking in the nights. So I had normal jobs. Right now, I'm still in part-time, working for Porsche AG, like Porsche car. And but we were working in the nights. The all new features. We were really fast because of our experience. I have also my aggregator company here in Germany. I have a telecommunication aggregator company, and I have also API, and some of the knowledge moves also into 1inch as well. Yeah, we had also one more guy who helped us with algorithms and mathematical calculations and so on, because it's very important. If you want to be really efficient, you have to write your own algorithms. There are several algorithms there, like A star, but it's not built for such a case. And we had to build an own. Like other competitors like 0x built an algorithm which is not that efficient. So, for example, they just try out all the combinations and find the best way, and this is a really bad idea. You can just you can run it on a new server, but it's also very expensive if you have that amount of people which we have right now on our app. So. We started to hire more people. Right now, we have one more guy who develop also smart contracts and also front end like the apps. And we are collecting right now seed round. Looks also really good. And soon we are going to grow to up to 10 people in the team.
I see. Nice. So when I've used 1inch, I noticed, like I mentioned, that there's kind of the main interface is a DEX aggregator. And then you also have, there's also like private market makers on there. So sometimes you can get deals on there you probably couldn't get elsewhere. Then there's also a limit orders feature. And then there's also a way to kind of search for Bancor and Uniswap liquidity pools. I'm curious if there's like what you see as some of the future functionality that you're hoping to enable with 1inch. What do you see in the next 6 months, 12 months?
So we started with the aggregator because it was like a logical step. We had the idea, we solved a problem, a big problem. So like we had all these small pools, and no one really understand, do I have the best price and how I can achieve the best price? And we solved the problem by combining it to single one pool by using a dynamic algorithm. And it was like step one. And we started to develop more features, new products. We introduced limit orders. Actually, no one offered such limit orders before us. Of course, there's a radar relay who's using also 0x, but own servers, and also Bamboo relay. But no one did really use 0x mesh protocol, and it's like also P2P database for the orders, yeah, for 0x orders, and no one offered like these pair combinations which we have. We just offered all the pairs we have on 1inch. It's like around 600 assets we have listed, multiplied with 600. You have around like a lot of, and now everyone can set limit orders, but it's not at all. Just to offer, someone set an order like DAI to USDC. It sometimes it's problematically to swap to just have such an order without multipath. I'm not sure if you hear about multipath. It's like also like this navigation from point A to point B, and what we offer in our 0x implementation is, if someone put an order for DAI to USDC, if someone try to swap on 1inch from Ether to USDC, we may jump from Ether to DAI and then to USDC. Yeah, just like multipath steps. And this is something new what no one else just could deliver on the market. And we plan to extend it. So we built on ETH Denmark this year. We were also on the main stage with our project on the hackathon. The 1x.ag, this is like a leverage aggregator, but it was like an MVP. We planned to integrate also in 1inch. And the thing is, there's also like market for leverage trading, and we offered like, you have the possibility to select any combinations of tokens which are supported by the CDP provider like Aave, Compound, DYDX, and also MakerDAO, and then you can just select your provider, yeah, based on the APY, yeah, which you have to pay and you will get. That depends on what you're doing, long or short. And you can just create easily leverage position without doing anything else as just clicking to create leverage position once in a transaction. So we also use like flash loans, which is like a buzzword right now. Right. But yeah, and actually we are responsible for the flash loans. Aave started the hype with the flash loans, right? By the first implementation in such a product. But the thing is, we provided the first MVP to Aave in Paris last year in a hackathon.
Oh, really?
So
okay.
We explained Aave how it works and which benefits they will get, and they just implement it. And yeah, actually we are responsible for this shit.
Right on. So you mentioned this thing about around these tokens, like the Aave tokens or the Compound tokens, like ADAI and CDAI. I'm imagining you're speaking of. Yeah. How exactly can you get leverage with those tokens, like through one transaction? How would that work exactly?
Yeah, it works like if you have 1,000 DAI, yeah, and you plan to build a leverage position for Ethereum long, for example, 4x. So what you have to do is just get a flash loan for additional $3,000. So you have in the sum $4,000, 4x, and then you have to lend it. So you have to lend the DAI in like on Aave, like ADAI, and then you have to borrow Ether, swap it back to DAI, and pay back the flash loan. That's all.
Gotcha.
This is like a kind of upgrade of this this leverage position building. Before we created this thing, it was only implemented in Fulcrum, how I know, this leverage trading. And what they did multiple steps. They lent this 1,000 DAI from you, borrowed Ether, swapped it to DAI, lent it again, borrowed Ether, and this 4 or 5 times, yeah, to create this leverage position. But we found out that flash loan can help us just create easily in one single interaction, like action, such a position.
That makes sense. So I've been doing something similar using Compound and 1inch Exchange, whereby I'm borrowing DAI. Let's see, what am I doing? Yeah, I'm borrowing DAI and then selling it because DAI is trading high. And then I'm putting the USDC back into Compound and doing that a few times. And then I end up with a situation where I have CDAI and CUSDC, and then I'm just able to swap between those on 1inch Exchange without ever having to unwind my position with Compound. But you're right that what I had to do was exactly what you described. I had to like put in the collateral, borrow some more, put the collateral back in, borrow some more. So what it sounds like you're able to do is just use a flash loan to give you all of that collateral position at once, borrow your maximum leverage position, and then get the borrowed asset back and repay the flash loan. So it just cuts a lot of that silliness out of the middle, which is nice. So that kind of brings up another question for me, which is like, I know you have a background in arbitrage, and just when I start using something like 1inch, if you're able to find more optimal routes to certain trades by accessing all of these different pools and different exchanges, logically you could take advantage of any price discrepancy in any one of those pools by using your service to get a better price, and then go back to like Uniswap, for example, and take advantage of an opportunity there. I'm just curious, maybe just in general, how developed is the arbitrage world in the decentralized exchange space? I know in the centralized exchange space, it's pretty competitive, it's pretty tight. Only in times of great volatility can you make good money. I'm just curious if you have a sense of where the DEX arbitrage world is right now.
It's also very competitive. There's a lot of good guys who are faster and better than you. They have also bigger teams. I was speaking with some guys, also some Russians, yeah, they optimize this implementation all the time. And sometimes if you analyze the transactions, some guys send the transaction and looking in a pending block, yeah, in this pending memory block of transactions, they look if something is changing, yeah. And if someone is faster than he, then they try to increase the gas price to be faster.
I see.
And they do in one single transaction 3, 4, 5 times. That means he's sitting directly on the miner somewhere and get the transactions or informations very fast. It's like, you know, having better internet connectivity than all others. Yeah.
Yep.
To get the information faster and react on that. Yeah.
Sure.
And my recommendation is not to try to arbitrage because it makes no sense. There are guys better. Yeah. Better is to build products which can help everyone and maybe also can onboard new people in the DeFi.
Sure. Okay, I like that perspective for sure. Now I'm curious about the limit orders as well. I've tried to use a limit order for, I think it was just between those assets I told you, CDAI and CUSDC, and the price moved past that price, but it kind of occurred to me that what was probably happening is no one placed an order specifically for those assets, the C token assets, but there would have been an arbitrage opportunity in there. And I remember you told me that some of your guys were maybe going to start working on closing that loop so that the limit orders would trigger.
Yeah, so our friends from Tornado Cash are working right now on such a bot for our limit orders to take them. I think some of the arbitrage traders didn't implement such multi-path arbitrage thing to just take use CDI, unwrap it, unbundle it, and maybe sell it somewhere to get CDI. This is, I guess, they will come to it as soon they see such transactions. Yeah, there are also some front runners who just analyze every transaction, and if you get more, then it's profitable. If it's profitable for the front runner, they will just make you same transaction see you faster, get the money, yeah, and yeah, you will get nothing. I had several times. Also, we know that those guys, that guy who do front running. We had some discussion with them, and they also just paid once back because like we have on a contract like for testing 1,000 DAI, and I just make transaction to pay it back to my wallet, and we didn't have any protections for the front running because it was like a testing, yeah, on the mainnet. We are mostly developing in the mainnet, and they just stole the money, yeah, because he just replaced my transaction by own transaction, which had a higher gas price. So and I started a small discussion with that guy, but he paid back, so it was fine.
So is what you're saying to me that they're able to see a transaction that is in the mempool, and if they identify that as one that's going to be like net profitable, they would just copy the transaction but put in a higher gas price?
Yeah.
That is clever and annoying at the same time.
They'll earn a lot of money. Trust me, they earned a lot of money in the dump time, and I'm pretty sure he's good.
Very good. Right on. Well, awesome. Thanks again for taking the time to chat. I'm curious if there's anything else that, actually I had two questions for you. The first one is like, you already kind of mentioned the algorithm and the power that you have with 1inch to get better prices in certain occasions. You mentioned, I know you have the multi-split. You also have like the multi-path, where if there's a more efficient and price efficient way to make a trade, you've built out ways to do that. I'm curious, what else can 1inch do that nobody else can do?
I guess everyone can build like multi-paths. They need enough resources, enough knowledge, and so on. It's like we are also humans, but we do a hard work. We work a lot on the project. We try to fulfill the needs of the market. And sure, we are just fast. Yeah, I guess everyone can deliver the same. But it's similar to like Uniswap. Yeah, it makes no sense to copy Uniswap. Why should someone use your Uniswap? You know, the same as with 1inch. We have a great community who support us a lot. So, like our Gitcoin grant. Thank you very much to everyone who participated on the donation. You can still do it as well.
Yeah, we'll put up a link for that.
Yeah, and yeah, we have great ideas. We do some inventions. So, for example, we introduced in the last couple of days also accessing pools for the underlying tokens of DAI, for example, in pools such like Ether and ADAI or CDAI. Also, actually, all lending protocols are right now supported on Uniswap. So that means we have better access to liquidity. And if you're going to swap like Ether to DAI or USDC to DAI, we also pull in, we access also the pool of Ether and CDAI and ADAI and so on. And it's like Curve, you know, Curve Phi.
Oh, yes, of course. Yep.
Core.
Yeah,
Curve.
Yep.
So they use also underlying tokens
right.
for swapping, and they use lending tokens, yeah, because it makes sense. It makes no sense to sit in DAI and Ether and only earn on the swaps.
Of course.
If you can just earn right now, it's between 2.5% and 5%. I'm not sure.
Right.
It's dropping a little bit, and just earn on the lending and earn also on each swap. Yeah, and it's also a cool thing. Yeah.
Sergey, let me ask you real quick. You mentioned that you guys are in kind of a seed round. How's that going?
Yeah, we have a lot of calls with a lot of investors right now. Almost every day we have and do the pitch of 1inch and our vision. We plan more. We plan much more. So I can give you a hint. The next generation of blockchain is coming, like sharded blockchains, and we are going to participate from the beginning on that. Like maybe you have heard about Near protocol. Near, it's actually Vitalik Buterin like a lot of ideas from white paper from Near protocol about sharded blockchains, and they just copied some ideas from them. It's good. I like that because it's a really good approach from Near guys. Near protocol is it's a great company in Silicon Valley, also Russian guys. Anton is working for Near protocol. He's building the bridge between Ethereum and Near protocol. The same with Ethereum plan also have a bridge between Ethereum 1 and the second version, and it's also actually an own blockchain. And this is the vision. Yeah, this is the direction we will go, to have high performance on a highly scalable sharded blockchain, and there we will build nice DeFi products as well. Yeah, and we will be prepared for Ethereum 2.0 for sure. Oh, you're muted.
Yes, I am. Thank you for that. Yeah, looking forward to that and everything that 1inch has in the future. So appreciate you taking the time to come on, Sergey, and I'll let you get back to work so you can continue to add more functionality to this robust tool.
Yeah, thank you also very much for the interview. And yeah. Keep swapping on 1inch.
Yeah, cheers. All right, man.
See you guys. Yeah, right.